Hey everybody, Blaze the Firewolf here. This is another Roundup video. This is 101, Roundup part 101. Bucket list finds, again. I'll start off a bit with not really good things to say, but I'm going to have to throw this wheat penny away. There's no way I'm going to really keep something like that. It's the 1917D. And I don't even know if I will find my oldest coin ever in better condition than this, so I won't count that, really. I'm going to have to throw this penny away. You can't even tell that it's a wheat apart from right here. I'm going to have to throw that away, sadly. So far I'm going to count the 1919 as my best find, even though it is slick. So that's junk. This is a junk ring, and my grandpa Peterson told me that it's probably silver chromed and on brass. I am starting to believe him, even though it rang up in the gold numbers, sort of 40. It kind of stuck a little bit with 40 though. That's the ring that I found at Coronado Beach in kind of a sand dune area. People usually lay down. Oh well. That's a junk ring, so these two hunts are from, I think, last month in September. And these two I did this month in October. I have a lot to say about Prospect Park. A lot of history there. There's a mansion at the top of the, above the park that during the time had some parades. There was some gatherings, and there's some writing or something back in the 60s. And this footpath and this majority of Prospect Park back in the day was actually a very popular place to picnic. So I was pretty surprised about that. A lot of junk, but I had a lot of time and patience with it, so I found some really bucket list relics. I'll save the best for last, as I usually like to do in my Roundup videos. I'll save the best for last, but I will start with, I found out what this park is, Sylvan Park. I don't know if I will come back, but since I found Prospect Park, and there's a small area I detected in Ford Park. There's a small section I have not detected ever, so I might save that for when I come back from Dad's. I'm going to go to spend Thanksgiving at Dad's from November 19th till the 25th or 6th. So, and it'll be a new beach that I plan to detect too. Mission Beach, near Fiesta Island. Never done it before. I'll give it a try. So far just clad. I think 1 quarter, 6 dimes, 4 nickels. Several memorials. 8. I think there's some in the 60s, 64, 63. I still dig up the zincs. It turned out that since I dug my usual zinkins, I found out that the Indian head rang up kind of an 80, 79, 80 on the Garrett. So in amongst these type of numbers, so you gotta dig them. You just never know. I'm not going to total the amounts of clad, though I remember in total in all this clad is $5.04. Which honestly, I think I preferred these two hunts over these two because because Prospect Park has no homeless. A lot of trash, a lot of litter, but nobody that's homeless. And from looking at this area, it's possible this place has not been detected before. I'll explain why. So yeah, I'll save these two for last. My second time at Sylvan Park. Also, Sylvan Park is the place where I found the 1939 wheat and the 53D. So, yeah. My first ever throwing knife. A homeless person probably lost it, and while they're trying to get out from a storm or trying to go to a safer place, shelter. Probably something that could even be used to put in your boot. I'll give it to my stepdad, along with the Allen key. I metal detected kind of the playground area. In the playground is where I found the Allen key and the eagle with stars, no cash value token. No cash value. Mexican 2 peso type of coin. 2 nickels, I think, still. Not old, 2018. I've remembered, I think I found $1.54 in total clad. There's my zincs, my memorials, 1 nickel, 70, you know, it's 52 years old nickel, and my 8 dimes. They've made 3 or 4 of these type of nickels this year. I found one with like an angel or something with wings in the back, and then I found one with William Mancular, and then there's another one where it looked like it had a pilot or something, and there's this one right here, the bulkhead, Sally Ride. I talked with my grandpa Wells about this, and he told me that she was like for space or for NASA. She was someone who was in space. Bulkhead, all the same. Found this and found a junk ring. Not a good one. I'm going to end up putting that with the junk jewelry. It's nothing special. I think it's copper. This was in a hole with a bottle top. So the bottle top was junk. Found my first ever marble. Well, no, second ever marble. I like finding them. Cat's eye marble. One day, maybe, we'll pray that I will find a clay marble one of these days. Just have to be patient. I'll go with the junky bits on the first day at Sylvan Park here. Slag piece of copper. This is brass. I'm thinking part 2, maybe a lawnmower or something. 380 caliber bullet, spent. A junk ring. I don't seem to find gold or silver in this park at all. Just a lot of foil and trash. And the stones, I'm sure, are fake, even though it has a good bling to it. It's copper. Now that's out of the way. Now we go to probably my better park. Personally, I think Sylvan Park is not good. There's a lot of homeless, and it's probably a good thing I'm not going to be back for at least a while. Nice quartz rock. I just picked it up from the surface because I might as well, at least to have a little bit of souvenir of a park that might have history. I know this nail is trash, but you know what the surprising thing is? It's a square nail. I talked with Sister Ann and she told me it could be a carpenter's nail, an old carpenter's nail. I metal detected kind of the sign area where there's like the sign, and then I kind of went. I did the picnic tables and the grass, and that felt a little more modern because I've dug almost nothing but trash and small bits of clad and a bit of junk jewelry. But then I went to the other side and I dug up a lot more of this stuff. Here's my first ever square nail. I might keep it in my relics collection. I probably won't do electrolysis. I don't know. Found a lot of these fuses on this side of the park near the Prospect Park sign, and just after that, there's this hilly area where there's a road, and there's a lot of copper wire that's been stuck to the dirt. I haven't really kept all that wire. That's what I've been digging a lot of, and a lot of it has been attached to things like it back in the day. It was like part to, on the side of the road in this hilly mound. That's all the wire I've been digging up. I didn't dig it up on that day, but I dug it up on this day. Now, I'm not a bottle digger by any means. I'll just show it now. After some research, this bottle is from the 1940s. I cleaned it up the best I could. Do you want to know something surprise? I dug it on the surface. Seriously, it was just laying on a footpath in the back. There's an old footpath where people still walk to this day. Not very trafficked, very wooded, a lot of poison ivy, a lot of twigs, brush, trees. But knowing that this area probably was a park, was a popular picnic area, probably this many years ago, could point towards history. That's what led me to detect that area. I might even end up doing the footpaths too. I'll show you why later. But yeah, actually in good research on the Merced website where they sell stuff, it kind of reminds me of OfferUp. A bottle like this, it's a sparkling water Pepsi Cola bottle from in the 1940s. In good condition, this went for like $80. I don't sell anything, but that is a bucket list relic. I mean, I was metal detecting the footpath, and then near the end of the day, I saw this wording sticking out of the dirt. I'm like, something just doesn't look right about it. And then I checked in the back, and it looks like a full bottle. So what I did is I took a little bit of my trowel, tried to scrape off or try to pull this out of the earth. This was near a footpath. Now, was it dropped back in the 40s? I don't know, but that's how old the bottle is, and that's knowing there's a lot of history at Ford Park. I mean, for Prospect Park. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this bottle, because it's quite the bucket list relic. I'm not a bottle digger by any means, but there's my history right there. History at its finest. And I was very blessed I didn't break it, or it didn't end up being busted. Now on for the junkier scrap copper end of a light bulb. Always wear gloves when you dig up these because there's glass. Sharp, mangled up, probably lawnmower hit bullet. Can't tell the caliber. Two of these came from like an electrical cable or something. It's brass. I dug up two of these square things with a bolt, and it's all solid brass. Not sure exactly what they're off of, but it's brass. Copper wire that's tied into a bow. Bicentennial quarter. I think on this day I got 80 cents. But what's cool is in this side of the park where the sign is, there's this pipe that leads that probably years ago it was still functioning, and it was all attached to all the way up to an old sprinkler head that was still on the surface, and that's kind of what I dug. That's where I found these three memorials that were 4 inches or more: a 60, a 64, and a 65. Let me see if I can switch hands. Yep, some junk jewelry, some bits of jewelry. I don't think that is silver. It's junk. Bling bling. I got killed it on nickels. I got 3 nickels. It's not many clad. And when I detected this area and didn't find a whole bunch of clad, that personally I kind of considered that to be a bit of a good sign. So that's the first day at Prospect Park. Second day was even better, to be honest. Copper wire. Copper wire, I already told you there's some copper wire that's still in the dirt in the hilly area. I found $1.33 in clad. 1 memorial, 1 nickel, 5 dimes, 3 quarters. Actually, I dug up a 1 hole in a footpath. There was a clad dime and a copper wire. That I don't think is copper. Actually, I think it's brass. I can't bend it very strong. Can anyone tell me what this is? Because I have no idea. I think it says there, 83. Price for some piping or something. Anyone know what this is? It's all brass. It rang up 78, 77, 78. 4 holes on it. There's a screw thread that it's screwed onto something. Yeah. That's brass. Your junk slag piece of copper. My first ever brass nail of this area. Now, I think it is a bit more modern than the square nail. The square nail could be from the 1940s. I mean, the bottle's from the 40s. There's no reason why this wouldn't be that old, maybe. Maybe even older. I'm keeping the square nail, definitely. And I will keep this nail, not only because it's brass, but it's different. Actually, I think it was 3 inches or so in dry dirt on a footpath. It's not a heavily trafficked area, this park is. Junk, bling, brooch, I think. There used to be a stone in it. It's not silver. It's, I think, silver plated. You could tell there's copper underneath it. There's no marking on it either. I can't see any. Now go into the better relics. This rang up a funny number. I was afraid it was going to be called a drug spoon, but the cool thing is, this was 2 inches in like branches and leaves, and it's my first ever silver plated spoon. And after some history, Sister Ann helped research this. She said that this can be either a baby spoon, a jelly spoon, a jello spoon, sugar spoon, or a teaspoon. You can read a little bit of the writing right there on, I can't read that, but she says Fioa or something, hotel plate. I'm keeping it, definitely, because personally, I don't think it's a drug spoon. It rang up 40, 46, kind of the 47. Didn't go any higher. I dug it anyways, in case if it was a buffalo nickel, or a nickel by that matter. Kind of happy that it's not. It's something different. It's copper underneath. As you can tell, it's copper. And another one. This might be from the 60s or earlier. I found out some history about this. I found it 2 inches in the hilly area where I kept digging up the copper wire that was attached to the ground and kind of attached to one another. I mean, I pulled it and it's kind of just led away, and I didn't even bother. I couldn't get it out. It's a General Motors key. Grater or something. It says Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I think right there. Yeah, a little bit. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This could be, from what I've been told and known about with this key, this probably is from the 1960s or earlier. Has some cool history, so probably one of my most historic keys that I've found. Unless I've, know an expert on these type of keys. That's a piece of history right there. This could be pretty dang old, too. It could be from the 40s. I've been told, after some research, we've looked at some certain things. It's brass. It rang up 64 and 72. Kind of a very odd number. It was actually on the surface. I didn't have to dig for it. I wasn't sure if it was going to be just some junk. It says opera, and it has 2 stars on it. That's all it says. It's brass. Not sure on history, but I would love to know. It looks like it could be as old as the bottle. I can't really see it being modern. I'm going to definitely keep that with my relics, too. I like relics. Now I saved the best for last. I'll start with this ring because I'm just not 100% if it is white gold or like 10 or 14 karat. When I found it, it was on the footpath, and as you could tell, it's not completely round. It's probably because this has been trampled on many times in the past. It was about 2 inches, but I'll give you a cool hint. No magnetism, and it's not plated. It feels very strong. I did kind of help try to straighten it. Has a really cool weaving design going through it. I need a little bit of help on this because after some good looking, we can't really see any markings on it. And I showed this to Sister Ann too, and we can't see anything. But I will give you a cool clue. When my grandpa I asked my grandpa when I first got my garret is, what do the gold read on the garret? And he told me that it reads in the 30s through the 40s. This rang up 37, 38, 39, and then it jumped to 45, 44, then down to 42, and then 40. The numbers were between 37 and 45. I don't think it rang any higher or lower than that. It was between the numbers of 37 and 45 on the garret. It could be gold. I have that hunch that it's probably gold. This is when I need Grandpa Peterson's help on this one. It's a really cool ring. I found it on the footpath. I think by the next time I find signals like this, I'm going to end up just digging it. It was a foil signal, but I dug it anyways, as I usually do, because you never know. It wasn't a solid number, too, so that's a bucket list if it is a real gold ring on a footpath. My first ever probably gold ring on a footpath. I do think it is probably real gold. I just need some help on it, and I need to test it. Then I'm going to tell you these 2 surface finds. Well, this was a surface find. This was, I think, about 3 inches. But I found it in Sylvan Park. A bucket list for me. 1935 D Mercury dime. You know what a big surprise is? This also rang up 84. These 2 kind of rang up 84 in the garret. And what's a bucket list? These 2 are silver. Yes, this is silver. And this is a bucket list. I've never found a Mercury dime. You can cross that off your list, Grandpa. I bucket listed my first ever Mercury dime. I'm really happy I found something like that. Oh, I prayed one of these days. Anytime I metal detect, I've been praying and praying that I would find something that would, just blew me away. And these 2 did. This was on the surface. I didn't have to dig for it as much. I used baking soda and all that stuff to clean it. I mean, it's my coin. I can do whatever I like with it. If it's someone else's coin, they could do it. You know, it's their coin, and this is my coin. Beautiful Mercury dime. This, after some research, Sister Ann did research about this coin. There are coins that are minted in Canada, but there's also coins, Canadians that were minted in America. America and Canada. And I found out if it's minted in Canada and it's 1968 or earlier, probably is about, it depends. If it's a dime, a quarter, or something a bit more better, or older than 1968, it would be 50% silver. This is 50% silver. You could tell by the sound when it drops too. That's a bucket list. 2 silver dimes, one day. I'm going to definitely put this with the other silver dimes I got. I've never, ever, ever found a foreign silver. That's my first one. I wanted to know if I would find my oldest Canadian, and it is right here. 1968 Canadian 10 cents, 50% silver. Had it been if it was steel, I know that the Canadians, if it's minted in America, it's steel and it's nickel. If it's Canada, it would be 50% silver and 50% maybe nickel. Not 100%, but wow. Wow, wow, wow. 2 dimes. Bucket list, bucket list. Bucket list, bucket list, bucket list, bucket list. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to forget. Found my first ever pigeon racing ring. That's also a bucket list. I've never found one. American something Union. After some research, they kind of disbanded this in that year, 1992. I can't return it. Don't worry. I found it just on the surface. It more likely it fell from the bird's foot. No, there was no bird attached to it, thankfully. 92's the year, 1992. Rang up a funny number, 58, 59, kind of 60, and then on the Garrett. But yes, made very light as a feather, aluminium. Man, I will definitely not detect again until I go to Dad's. It will probably be gusty and windy, but at least I get to have Thanksgiving with my dad for the first time in, say, 4 years, almost 4 years. And that's it. Hope you guys like this very, very long Roundup video. But there's a reason for it to be that long. There's a reason. I found so much amazing stuff. Man, this is like my 3rd or 4th video where or 5th bucket list video of this year, 2022. This decade has not been good, but it certainly has for me on metal detecting. I mean, found my first ever silver with the Garrett. My first silver quarter, first silver dimes, Mercury dime. I'm still going to pray one of these days I find my oldest coin ever. I have yet to find Indian head, barber, oldest wheat penny, fee nickel, and another buffalo. I'm still going to pray one of these days I will find it. And to top it off, I also found that I'll be going back to Prospect Park, no question about it. Hope you guys really enjoy this video. I put a lot of work into doing this video. So much effort. You don't realize how much time. If you go into this hobby, expect a lot of junk and have a lot of patience. That's it for me. Please be sure to like. Please be sure to comment. Please be sure to subscribe. Turn on that notification bell, and please share this everywhere you can. Post it. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere you can share it. This is Blaze the Firewolf, and I am out. Catch you in my next video. Bye.